David hired a hitman to kill Celeste. New update. Oh shit, this nigga hired a hitman? That's
all right, ladies and gentlemen, before
is
we
this
get into
true?
David's story, I want to say that I'm doing a massive giveaway for Battlefield 6. Yes, you heard that right. I'm doing a massive giveaway for Battlefield 6 for 3 lucky subscribers over $75. Well, $70. Been fiending to get this, even messaging me, and I supported you many times. I just do a quick lucky subscribe, and it will, if you do, I'm literally on hard entity of the Grand David. Now, according to latest reports, according to You Ain't That Hard Foo on Instagram, they say private investigator says police know the identity of the last person that drove David's Tesla with Celeste Rivas's body inside, but they can't yet reveal who it is.
What you mean you can't reveal who it is? No. It better say that they ain't got enough evidence that it was that person, or don't got the DNA. Cause what do you mean you can't reveal who it was? That means now you on their side. That's some little
say,
suspect.
Obviously, electric vehicles, Teslas, and the like have a fuck ton of biometric data, cameras everywhere, GPS, geo-tracking, and locations. Don't some of these vehicles use fingerprints or like Face ID to even unlock the vehicles? Like, obviously, which is why everybody's so irritated, because how did they not even, like, why have they not made any arrests yet? Given the level of security surveillance in 2025, I'm pretty sure they already know who was in that vehicle. Like, let's be honest, California is one of the most surveilled states in the entire union. And as you can see on David's page, he hasn't really made any updates. He actually dipped down below 2 million followers and then gained all that shit back. So it's just like, wow. It seems like he has way more support now than he did prior to Celeste being found in his Tesla. But to quickly get into the meat and potatoes, according to TMZ, they say Celeste Rivas investigation. PI thinks sadistic plans were set for teen's corpse. Whatever the hell that means. Hopefully it has nothing to do with necrophilia. We already had this story surrounding pedophilia. Let's not dive into the territory of people trying to mess with dead bodies. The private investigator hired to probe Celeste's death case has made a harrowing revelation. He thinks there was a, and I quote, sadistic plan made to get rid of the teen. And of course, our theories is that, she either OD'd or she was pregnant, or both, who knows. People also think she wanted to reveal their relationship to the world, naturally, of course. And because of that, either David, a manager, or somebody within the circle, knowing that that would mess up the money and sending to prison, said, hey, we gotta find a solution to this to shut her up. They say the PI says that he can't spill much, but thinks the original plan went wrong at some point, and that the Tesla, where her dismembered corpse was found in early September, was supposed to be a holding spot, so a temporary spot before transferring her body to somewhere else.
Nigga, what? Please tell me this is not them weird people to be. Cause, bro, this is what made me delete Twitter one time. It was one of them people that was talking about how they like messing with corpses in that type of way. The adult way. And I'm like, yeah, bro. I was done with Twitter after that. Cause why the fuck? Why am I hearing about this? Why am I seeing this? Like, you'll see people unalived on Twitter and shit like that. You'll see things like that, and then you'll hear people talking in the most unhinged ways, and it bothers the shit out of me. That's what made me delete that shit. I only got it back now because of like content and shit like that, but it's like, ugh. Man, so what I'm getting at this point is that they plan to leave the corpse inside the area. Like, how long do they plan to leave it there? That's the part that I'm trying to wonder. So even if leaving the body there, right? They leave the body there. My nigga, you're in California. Nigga, that body is well done after the first day. Like, not R.I.P. her, but my nigga, after the first day, I just know it was terrible in there.
They also say Steve, who was hired by the homeowner of the $3.6 million Hollywood Hills home singer David stayed in. Remember that home he was staying in, he abandoned after I suppose people started showing up, investigators started pulling up, you know, he had to dip. Yeah, apparently the owner of that mansion, who was rightfully creeped the fuck out, hired this guy to find out what the hell happened in his home. I would do the same if I were a
Man,
homeowner, especially of a mansion that I'm renting out to a famous person.
Man,
they're all of a sudden linked to
the
a dead
lowest I
body
got
of a
was like
minor. I don't want to be
95 degrees while I was
don't
there.
want the FBI thinking I had anything to do with that. So
Ain't never going back.
on the side of caution, hire a PI to figure out what the hell was happening in my home. But here's some footage, an interview that, and shout out to Law and Crime Network on YouTube. I'm sure we're all familiar with them. They had an interview with the PI on this case, separate from law enforcement, investigating this, and here's what he had to say.
Person where I think things are a lot easier than people try to make them sometimes, especially online, into these big things. And I thought this was going to be a tragic overdose, which it very well still could be. And they made a bad decision because they didn't want to expose a potential relationship and put her in this Tesla, and then maybe he thought he could get somebody to get rid of that car, and they were just like, no, I'm not doing it, and just got left there. But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence, that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her, and it's scary, sadistic stuff, and that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more, but for obvious reasons I can't. But it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on ultimately getting rid of her, and how maybe that Tesla was just a holding spot at the time, and things just, you know, their timing was just off as far as getting this done.
I'm just gonna say.
So that means they were probably planning on turning her like into mincemeat or some shit. Like, what was they gonna do? Grind her up and just. Like, my nigga, whoever did this shit, I don't know if it was him, he had a part in it, or whatnot, or the people that he hired to do it. Even with him hiring the people to do it, regardless of the matter, it's all sick. And it's terrible. Like, just... Ugh.
Here's my theory that, and I'm sticking with it.
How do you even think about that?
Because she was pregnant, she wanted to make everything public, right? Or she was just getting tired of the secrets, and she finally wanted to make this relationship public, knowing that it would destroy his career and his life. Possibly they got into an argument, and she said
about the Jade situation. What was about that one?
You've done with me. I'm gonna tell the whole world that you're dating a minor. You met me when I was this old, at this age. I'm going to destroy your career. And of course, naturally, anybody in that position that David would have been in. By the way, this is all speculation. Being in that position, backed into a corner, possibly being exposed for a legit federal crime. He and anybody else in his circle, knowing about the situation,
be streaming on all platforms. That's crazy.
Sure she never has the chance to expose anything.
That's crazy as hell.
To make anything public. And honestly, as I've stated in many videos before, please watch your children. The world, since the beginning of time, in civilization, society, and in nature, is full of predators. From tigers, lions, bears, snakes, spiders, all the way on up into sadistic, murdering, serial killing human beings. These people, these creatures, these things will always exist, but what you can do is protect yourself and being proactive in your life and in your family's lives and your children's lives and anybody else for that matter that you care about. Clearly, based off of everything that I've learned about the situation, Celeste just didn't have enough protection. Maybe, you know, naturally, teen girls, they become a little rebellious. It is what it is, but that is when you really have to step it up. No matter what, like, modern society wants to tell you, bro, you as a father or mother, you gotta, like, you have to try your best to save your child from this cold world. Like, obviously protect them, provide for them, and teach them about the realities, but also protect them from these dangerous pitfalls that can, you know, mortally wound them. Have them end up in jail, shot, dismembered, killed. Like, you guys, I don't have to spell this out for anybody. It's a cold world we live in, and it's just a shame what happened.
Has anyone from David's team, management, legal, anybody reached out to you or your client?
You know, I know that my client's been in touch with this manager, but only for the purpose of the lease, because they did ask to terminate the lease. And I believe the other manager that technically was the owner of the red Tesla, I think was in touch with him just because they needed access to the house to get that vehicle and stuff out. Because that's another thing that they could be key in this, is that there's only one key to that house, and who had that and who had access to it and who was in it. Because we also have evidence that while David was on tour at the time between the Tesla being found and the search warrant being served, David was on tour, but somebody was in that house, and there was actually a report made, not the police, but that homeowner association has a robust private security company, and we've gotten videos from them and reports. And so who had that key is probably the same person that, you know, had access to the Tesla.
So it sounds like this is a hit.
Damn. That's not good. So if that nigga really was gone and somebody else did have the key, that means that would explain the damn Tesla thing being left in the gutters and shit like that, and the damn dummy that picked it up instead of just reporting it. That's either way, that's scary to think about. Damn. Like, how do you even start that?
Man, as an assassin, and of course, if you're rich, you don't want to get your hands dirty, and if you're the manager, you definitely don't want to get your hands dirty for your artist, your client. So yeah, they probably hired somebody from like SoCal or some shit to pull up. I don't know where, I forgot the address, but in the hills, right? David was living in. Anybody involved in this case remotely allocated to be a co-conspirator, they're gonna get their reputation and career destroyed. This guy is probably just a random landlord slash homeowner in the Hollywood Hills. He probably has multiple properties, and he doesn't want to have this entire situation tarnishing his entire real estate career. I
don't blame the nigga. Like, my nigga, he didn't sign up for that. He didn't know that shit was gonna happen. Shit, I would say the same shit too. Hey, y'all gotta get the fuck up out of here. No. Gonna bring my property value down. Then on top of that, now that I'm finding out all this shit about you, oh hell no. You really gotta go now.
get it. As a business owner, one of your clients fuck up, you don't want to be culpable for their actions. Totally understandable.
Do you know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
So I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I don't mean I can't say but I don't know who exactly was in the house, because it's just a report, but there's video.
I keep forgetting he can't say certain
was
things.
In the house, and being that there's only one key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her body? I don't know.
Man, that's got it.
It's low-key irritating me, because it seemed like he hiding something, but he's not hiding anything. It's just he literally cannot talk about it right now because it's confidential to the moment. Like, because if he says anything, right, the people could easily go back and cover their tracks, or they can cover their tracks on anything else. Therefore, because they'll see that it's exposed, so they're gonna go back and try to get rid of any evidence that could lead it back to them, or any newer evidence. So therefore, this right here, they can't fully specify certain things. That's why it's low-key getting on my nerves, because I want to know, but I know that they can't say it for that specific reason.
That'd be scary. Imagine, David on tour, and he knows that she knows that he knows that she may one day speak up about this, and he's thinking in the back of my mind, I can't go to prison. This is crazy. And she's been saying wild shit, right? He's now having image after image, leak after leak, indicating that he was definitely in a relationship with her. And the one thing that could really expose him and really get him caught up is her word, verifying everything, corroborating everything. So he probably went on tour, he left her back at his house saying, all right, whatever, you can stay here and chill. Mind you, at this point in time, she already ran away. So she's thinking everything is cool and peachy and fine, right? But on David's side, he already knows that he has this set in motion. This is speculation, by the way. Him and his team or whoever already probably hired somebody, possibly to come and take her out to smoke her. And I'm just like, bro, if something like that actually happened, can you imagine the amount of fear coursing through her body during the last moments of her life? Like, holy shit. Assuming this was an actual assassin. Well, I don't know if regular people can be classified as assassinated, but I'm saying, like, an assassin coming to take her out. I just gotta say, this entire case, in my opinion, is the spookiest shit I've ever covered on this entire it's the most convoluted too, but it's incredibly spooky It's creepy, and I'm telling you 100%, if this happened to any normal person, any normal civilian, we would have, the case would have already started, and we would have well been on our way to prison by now. I assure you. And yeah, people in the comments are now saying, finally, an exclusive update from Law and Crime, not just some regurgitated old news. Yeah, I understand, you know, a lot of things have been recycled. Somebody else said, finally, I feel like we're getting somewhere. Big thanks to the landlord for hiring a private investigator. I know he's doing it to protect himself, but it sure did help with my anxiety on this case.
I mean, at least somebody did it, goddamn, because nobody else was going to do it.
How would a crime that happened on his property affect him legally? I don't know. Some people are not bright. They don't understand how you owning a property and a crime happening on it can lead you to being liable for that crime. It happens. But of course, OP responded back by saying it happened at his properties, so he would want to know to what extent his property is involved with a potential crime. That should just be obvious, but hey. Ladies and gentlemen, that said, with this update, what do you think about this?
W video by Maury. I'm gonna make sure to leave his video in the description, but my nigga, to know these niggas hired a hitman now, or this is part of it now, this shit is getting worse and worse by the day. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and stop by the stream sometimes. Without further ado,